Hi guys, let's get into a quick reading. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find the information in the description box below. Let's get into it. What message do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? What messages do you have for the collective at this time? I'm getting a sense of like something unexpected. Or I wouldn't necessarily say that it's unexpected because you're aware that it's coming in. I just think that you may not be aware of how it's going to be packaged or what it's going to look like when it presents itself to you. But you're very aware of what you've been investing in. You're very aware of the things that you've been creating, right? And you have entered this space where you are more confident about following your intuition and how you bring things into your reality, right? Thy will be done. It's because you have built this strong sense of faith within yourself, right? Where you have this element of following your intuition and without necessarily seeing or having like a secure, how can I express this? Following your intuition there isn't always a sense of security in that. It's kind of just like being faithful and knowing that what you're pursuing will come to pass. But also on the other end, you have to physically invest in the thing that you're intuitively being guided towards, right? So there's a balance between the two that you've learned to master, right? Where you are kind of just like I'm seeing someone who's just kind of like answering questions with no problem. So it's almost as if like you're facing challenges and you're overcoming lessons with like ease. So there is no like resistance within you when it comes to the things that present themselves in your life that may be something that you may need to learn from or may need to overcome in a sense, right? You've learned to embrace the things that come into your life as fertilizer, right? It may not seem as if it's to your benefit when it's applied, but what you gain from it is so much more fruitful than what you received from it in the beginning. Does that make sense? Because if you think about what fertilizer is, it's quite literally animal shit, right? But it provides nutrients to the soil that make your fruit more healthier, more sweet, more robust, more like it makes the fruit better, right? And that's kind of like how you apply things to your life. Like you may have been dealt a very shitty hand, right? But you take those lessons, you take those challenges and you apply them within your life in a way that just kind of like it creates more wealth for you. This is truly the energy of alchemy, right? Where you take things that are trying to tear you down, trying to dim your light, or trying to put your fire out, and you use that as more motivation, more inspiration. You use that as fuel for more drive, right? It almost is. It's a almost as if like you're a true alchemist. I don't know how else to put that into simpler terms. But let's pull some tarot to see if we can get some clarifiers. But you've also learned that you have to kind of maintain this childlike essence within yourself, right? In order to be successful within these things, right? Because when you allow things to become too serious, it takes the fun out of it, which then kind of removes it as your passion. So you keep this, it's almost as if like you keep your expectations low but your investments high, right? Because you know that what's given to you, you'll alchemize it into a way that is more beneficial to your output than what was presented to you in the first place. I got the hiccups. Clarify Flossom. The King of Pentacles. Yeah. This is almost as if like there are many things that you're passionate about, many things that you're good at, right? You may be someone who is good at everything, or you kind of have your hand in multiple pots, right? Which is abundance in itself, right? But in order to truly see the reciprocity from that sense of wealth, you have to kind of focus your investments, right? You have to be disciplined in your investments. It has to be consistent, right? There can't be an in and out. It has to be firm consistency, firm discipline, right? And firm commitment within these avenues in which you're looking to see a return from. But again, it's almost as if, yeah, the Sun, the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, it's almost as if like, you kind of like put a few drops in the bucket every now and again. And now it could be that you're in a place where you're kind of seeing the fruits of your labors from a different perspective, right? You're not necessarily expecting one outcome from how you invest, right? You don't expect to see money from everything, right? Some things offer opportunities, some things offer more time, some things offer the space for more creation, some things offer the space for more strengths and abilities for you to create more skills, right? So you have to you're in this place of being aware that investing in something does not mean that you're going to get one specific currency from that one investment. You may receive multiple different fruits from that one thing, right? But you're again in a place where you are willing. I'm seeing this like fire. You're very, it feels like you're in a space where you're feeling motivated, you're feeling inspired, you're feeling like you want to create, you want to give more, you want to experience more life, right? More opportunity, more experiences, right? Clarify Wanderlust is a must. The Empress, more life, more creation. And then the Page of Wands, yeah. But this too, again, it's almost as if like it's almost as, how can I express this? With the King of Wands, there's a lot of wands here, a lot of fire, right? A lot of passion. But the King of Wands is somebody who kind of gets what they want out of life, right? It's the CEO, right? It's someone who approaches life with this very firm confidence, this very strong sense of courage, this very in-depth spirit of charisma, right? That kind of powers you. But you also have this space to know that like you can't take everything too seriously. You have to remain the student of your passion. You have to remain vigilant of your desires, right? In order for you to learn how to, I don't want to necessarily say tame them, but keep them in a structured bound, keep them within a structured boundary, right? So that you're just not creating like a bunch of weeds, but you're that are like kind of like choking out your dreams, but you're consistently nurturing something that will essentially fulfill you. I'm very strongly sensing like this sense of loyalty to this. It's almost as if it's like a part of you too. But then too, also keeping in mind that you have to continue to learn whatever it is that you're creating, you have to continue to be a student of that source of life, right? You can't just create something and then expect it to kind of follow you where you're going. When you create something, you too have to learn that as its own entity and as its own life force, so that you learn how to nurture where its strengths and weaknesses, right? How to refine the places in which the character may need to be built in different areas, right? But not necessarily controlling it, just learning the depths, learning the character, learning the function, right, of this entity, so that so that it doesn't necessarily get out of control, right? So that it doesn't take control of you, but also that so that you don't take so much control over it that you end up smothering it, right? Fire needs room to breathe. When you hover over fire too much, it takes it puts it out. But also giving it too much oxygen will just cause an uncontrollable wildfire. So there is a sense of like learning how to balance this within a refined manner, so that it doesn't overtake you, but also so that you don't put it out yourself, right? Because it may at sometimes feel like um it's too much to carry. And so again, this is just a reminder to have fun with it, right? To not take it too seriously. Clarify warrior, not a worrier. But this is part of your strength. This is part of the lessons that you have already learned in life, right? So that you maintain this sense of courage, but you also have this sense of trust within your faith, within your intuition, within your ability to create, within God, within the people around you, right? Within your discernment, within your sense of commitment, within your sense of discipline, and your ability to kind of remain I'm again committed to whatever it is that you're giving life to. It's a part of who you are. So you can't necessarily separate from it. 10 of Wands, yeah, because you have a you have a responsibility to bring this to life, because it almost seems as if it's a gift towards you. Yeah. But you may not be aware of what this gift is going to offer you. You may not be aware of the opportunities that it's going to bring, right? The Five of Pentacles, because it almost feels as if, yeah, there's a shift. It is going to bring you what you desire, but in this moment, it feels like you're giving more than you're receiving, right? In this moment, it feels like you're not getting anything from it. It feels as if you're in this, I don't want to say in this space of lack, but it's almost as if you're like in this incubation phase, right? Where you're not trying to get the fire started, but you're trying to learn how to manage the flame, right? Keep it going so that you don't have to watch over it consistently. And in doing that, that's when the offer presents itself. But I don't think that you're necessarily concerned about when or how this is going to present itself. I think that you're just more so focused on like how giving, but how you're not receiving from this. And again, not that you're like worried about not receiving from it. It's just more so you're doing it from, again, one, a place of willingness, a place of passion, because you have the gift, you have the ability, you have the structure, you have the means, you have the tools, the resources, and you have the passion and the desire. But there are also other things in your life that need attention as well. And so that's it. It's almost as if you may feel like you're putting into many different things at once, right? But you may not be receiving something from everything that you're giving to. And that may be creating not a sense of insecurity, but just like a sense of a challenge that tests your faith in certain times and areas and spaces of your life. Let's pull 4 cards to clarify this message. 1 card for what we can learn as the major lesson of this message. The shaman and the oracle. Hold your vision. Learn how to remain peaceful, right? Learn how to, again, maintain that balance within your faith, right? Learn how to continue to hold your vision and to be faithful in knowing that just because you perceive something, that doesn't mean it's the complete truth of the reality, right? And so you do have something coming in from this investment. You just don't see how it's packaged and when that delivery date is going to come. You don't know what that delivery date, what the stamp on that delivery date looks like. Clarify one card for what we can create surrounding this message. But intuitively, you know that in continuously investing in this is, one, a part of your purpose, right? Because thy will be done. You will receive it. It's inevitable, but it's just, look, vision with Sandman at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So again, like creating and refining the details of this vision, right? So don't necessarily try to create how it will come in, but sit and create. What will you do with the investment that you're hoping to receive from this? How will you use the opportunity of receiving this investment to create more life, to create more opportunity, to create more space, to create more time, to balance your efforts, right? To bring you more peace, to bring you more serenity, to continue to feed your faith, right? Create the space to allow your fire to breathe, but also create the confinement around it, the boundary around it, so that it doesn't turn into a wildfire, right? I'm also saying meditate. I haven't pulled a card on meditation yet, but let's do 1 card for what we can meditate on. For this meditate section, I'm sensing like you having to, which it's almost as if like Sage, yeah, create when you meditate on the fact that what you are manifesting, meditate on how to align yourself with what you're manifesting, right? How can you position yourself to receive what it is that you are looking for, right? How can you prepare yourself for a gift that you don't know what it's going to look like and when it's going to come, right? You need to have that communication, that connection, and that vision with God. Hold that conversation to know what that's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and how you should position yourself to be secure in this space in which you're receiving that sense of wealth, right? Because, you can't, if you don't train for the Olympics, it's not likely that you'll win, right? You have to prepare your strength. You have to prepare your stamina, right? You have to prepare yourself for the unknown, right? For not only the event itself, but also all that comes with it, right? So mentally, it comes with more speculation, more opinions, more eyes, right? You become more of a spectacle, right? And so again, meditate on how to prepare yourself for what it is that you're looking to receive, how to align yourself to receive it, and to hold it steady so that you don't become overtaken by this manifestation, but also so that you can be sure not to squander it when it does present itself to you. One card for what we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this message. With that Sage card, I definitely got the look, expansion. One card for what we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this. Senses. Your knowing, your understanding, your wisdom, your gifts, your strengths, right? Your weaknesses. Become more familiar with yourself and the world around you, Amazon, because you have much to offer, and there will be much received from this gift that you are giving from, right? Because it's not as if you're like giving to the gift, right? The gift is for you. It's you who's giving from the aspect of this gift, right? With the resources that you have received and the tools that you have received from this, right? There's a whole new world that's looking to present itself to you. But you have to kind of prepare yourself to enter this space, right? You have to learn you're going to have to learn how to swim in this new arena. So give yourself the space to kind of open yourself up to new experiences, a new world, new connections, new collaborations, new environments, new conversations, new ideas, new perspectives, new investments, new opportunities, right? There's a whole new world that's coming to you. And you have the stability to be able to receive it, but you again want to make sure that it's not something that is too heavy of a burden for you to carry. And you have to make sure that you're able to sustain it as well. But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonates. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Thank you for watching. Bye.